Namaste, Green Wave. It's Miss Amy, and today I'm going to share with you toga, which is yoga using our toes, as well as a bunch of different balancing poses that we're going to use with our feet, and we're also going to do the pebble meditation as well. So for toga today, I'm going to share with you a variety of tools and techniques to stretch out your toes, because believe it or not, our feet are connected to our brain. So when our feet are grounded and supported, we get more clarity and concentration in our mind. So it's really important to practice toga to stretch out your toes so you can also stretch out your mind. So some props we're going to use today for toga are pom-poms. And if you don't have pom-poms, you could always use cotton balls or small little toys. And we're also going to use marbles. All right, so again, look around your house to see if you have any small objects that obviously won't hurt your toes, but that you can pick up with your feet. We're also going to use hair curlers. So these are tools I found at the dollar store, as well as the foam inserts when you get a pedicure. So there's the one for all of your toes or the single ones just for one toe. So we're also going to use those, as well as I'm going to show you this cool foot massager that I found at Marshall's, which is another cool tool for your feet. It's like a little massage. And we're also going to learn again a bunch of different balancing poses, and we're going to use our blocks. So if you have your blocks handy, we're going to use our blocks as well to balance with. And it's also helpful if you have your blanket handy and you fold it in the big rectangle square-like shape, because depending on the floor that you're using, marbles could roll around, or again, just be mindful of your objects. So of course you can always use your yoga mat, you can roll that out, but again, having the blanket is good for the toes as well. So check it out. I'm going to place my blanket on my mat, and then what I'm going to do to start, I'm going to use the pom-poms and the marbles, and I'm going to put them on the blanket. All right, so I'm going to spread them out. All right, so again, I'm going to use my toes to pick up these objects. All right, so again, having the marbles and the pom-poms on the blanket make it a little easier. So what you'll do is you'll start in your mountain pose, and then using your toes, almost like a crane at the arcade, right? You're gonna start to pick up a pom-pom, and then maybe you see how many pom-poms you have. So right now I just picked up 3 in my toes, and then I can place them down. You can try again to pick up the marbles. They feel a little different because all the props have different textures. So you can try each tool with your toes. And then if you want to get a little fancy, using some balancing poses when you pick up the prop. So for example, I can pick up a marble, and maybe I also can grab a pom-pom, and then maybe I reach my arms out wide like the letter T. I'm in the crane pose. Or I can try to take it to my tree pose with the objects in my toes. Or I can try to fly in my warrior 3 with, again, the objects are still in my toes as I balance. All right, so make it your practice. You could also use the bowl that you got the objects from to place the marbles and the pom-poms back in the bowl, again, using your balance. All right, so there's many different ways that you can start to use the tools to start to stretch out your feet. And this is really good for our toe muscles because it helps the bones as well. It strengthens and lengthens the bones of our toes. So again, you can get as playful and creative as you'd like. And again, also switch legs, all right? So try to balance on the other side. Maybe it's easier for you on one side. Maybe you find this side harder. Again, picking up the objects with your feet, and then you can place them back in the bowl. Again, get creative. Maybe you have some small toys at home that you can also use for your toes as well. So again, getting creative, starting to wake up those feet. Because again, our feet are really important because they support us every day. All right, so that's one way. You can use pom-poms, cotton balls, anything that's, you know, soft, or some small toys that you'll be able to grip with your toes. All right, so that's one way you can use the marbles and the pom-poms. Another way is to just get a handful of the marbles. So right now I'm going to just get the marbles. And once again, I'm going to place them all on the blanket because the marbles, they like to roll. And what I'll start to do is I'll put the marbles all together. So it almost looks like a circle or just one clump together. And then I'm going to put my foot on the marbles and start to roll my feet around, all right? So giving it a little massage. Again, see what feels good for you. If you want to put more pressure on it by standing a little firmer on the marbles, again, you know, do what feels comfortable for you. Sometimes it might hurt a little bit, so then be gentle with yourself. But again, these are waking up the bones and the muscles in your body that, you know, might not get stretched, you know, with your daily stretches. And again, be sure you switch your feet. So again, putting all the marbles together in a circle or just all together, and then using your other foot to roll over the marbles with. And again, maybe you put a little bit more pressure. Maybe you come to a tree pose with your foot on all of the marbles. Right? So lots of different ways you can stretch out your feet with the marbles. So another tool to stretch out the feet we're going to use now the hair curlers. And what you're going to do with the hair curlers, you're going to come to sit on the ground, and again, make sure that your feet are on the blanket, all right? And then you're going to place each of the hair curlers under your feet. And then you're just going to roll your feet back and forth with the hair curler. So maybe you go over your heels. Again, you're breathing, you're stretching here, just rolling your feet over the hair curlers. Maybe you even pick up the hair curlers with your feet. Can you challenge yourself to pick up the hair curlers just like that in your toes? And then maybe you take it to a boat pose. Check it out, that's a boat, or you can hug your knees. So you can see, can you also hold the objects in your feet while you try a pose such as boat pose, where you can lift your toes up. So again, you could also do that with the marbles or the pom-poms. And again, gently, you're just rolling your foot, your heel on the hair curler. And of course, be gentle because they're just plastic, right? So if we step on it too hard, it could break. So just be mindful of the amount of pressure that you're putting on the hair curler as you roll your feet. And again, it's nice on the blanket so that, you know, everything doesn't roll too much. But you could also do the same movement with just the yoga mat. So again, I'm going to place the two hair curlers on the mat and then use my feet to roll over the hair curlers. So again, use what you have. Or again, I found these at the dollar store in the hair section. So again, just do what feels comfortable for you. Maybe you get inspired for another object to use for toga. And then you can also use, again, the foam pieces that you might get when you get a pedicure, when you get your toes done. And with that, it's just going to stretch out your feet. So when you come back to sit, you can either, again, there's a variety of ways you can place the toe stretchers in your feet. And I'll just put them on my feet so you can see. And again, you can do all of your toes in them or use the single one, so it's just one toe at a time. So again, just doing what feels best for you. All right, so just by placing my feet in the toe stretchers, again, I'll come a little closer so you can see. So I put the pedicure piece right on my toes, so this stretches out my feet. And then I could stand with my feet in mountain pose just like this, or again, I could try a balancing pose with my toes getting stretched out. So maybe I try the airplane, maybe I try the tree. Again, maybe it's a kickstand tree or a little higher. Again, your choices for your branches, either wide like the letter T, hands at your hips, arms reaching to the sky. You can also box your elbows. So many different ways to be a tree, again, using the pedicure pieces to stretch out your toes. And again, then whenever you feel that you're done, you just gently take them out. You could also challenge yourself. So with the smaller pieces, you could put them on your toes and then get your pom-poms and your marbles back. And then see, so I'm gonna put the single one around my second toe. All right, so it's starting to stretch out my toes just like that in the single one, just like that. And now I can challenge myself once again. Is it easier to pick up the pom-pom with my foot with the toe stretcher? Is it a little harder? So again, with the pom-pom for me, that was kind of easy. But now when I'm trying the marbles, it's not as easy. So I can try to see, can I pick up a marble with my feet with the toe stretcher? Or again, you can get a bunch of the marbles and depending on, again, the floor that you have. So if you're on the carpet, they probably won't roll as much, but if you're on a hardwood floor, you might want to get your blanket or your mat so that the marbles don't roll. And then again, I can roll my foot over the marbles with my foot still in the toe stretcher. All right, so that's another way you can use the tools for toga. Again, using what you have. And then I got another fun item that I found when I was at Marshall's. I'm sure you could also find it at TJ Maxx or maybe even Five Below, was this toe massager. So it's plastic, but it has all those little bumps, so it massages your feet. So it almost looks like flip-flops, right? So what you would do with this is you'd place it flat on the ground and then coming right into a mountain pose. All right, it kind of feels a little weird at first. But breathe here. Again, it massages the soles of your feet. And then again, if I wanted to add in a balancing pose, it feels more intense on the one side, and then maybe it's just a smaller tree, or maybe I try a higher tree pose. And again, it feels a little weird because it's really challenging your balance right here. So again, tools you could find, and I actually found it when I wasn't even looking for it. So you just never know what you'll find, when you're out shopping. So those are toga tools that you can use for your feet. All right, so now that your feet are all warmed up from the toga tools, we are going to learn some more balancing poses. And again, have your props handy because we can use them for support when we bring them to the highest height when they're on vertical. They can bring the ground closer to us for us to balance. And we can also use them to stand on, but we want to make sure that they're flat like Legos so we don't hurt ourselves. Because again, they're just foam, and with yoga, we always want to practice safety first. All right, so again, if we decide that we want to stack two, we stack them like glue. We stack them like Legos, just like this, so that they are sturdy and firm for you, okay? So I'll show you the basic pose first, and then we can get creative with the materials. So a nice simple tree pose, one of the most popular balancing poses is the tree. It's also called Vrikshasana in the Sanskrit language. So what's important with tree is that we want to protect our knee. So we never want to place our foot on our knee because, again, it might not hurt right now, but over time, that's going to hurt our knee joint. So we want to be, again, cautious of our body. So it's important that our foot goes either under our knee or above our knee. So keep that in mind. All right, so starting with your tree, you want to begin in your mountain pose, also known as Tadasana. And nice and strong and tall here, draw the shoulders away from your ears. Now, when it comes to balancing, you want to keep your eye on something that's not moving. So find a focal point, whether it be a spot on the carpet, a picture on the wall, or you take a stuffed animal or your eye pillow that we've used as your object, that can be helpful. Okay, and then depending on how you want to begin, again, you can start with the arms wide like the letter T and start in the crane pose, and then eventually bring your foot, again, maybe you're a kickstand tree or a little higher on your shin, or again, you can help your foot and place it in your upper thigh. And once again, your choice with your branches, either wide like the letter T, reaching the arms up above, box the elbows, even get a little candy cane stretch in, so side body, again, good for the ribs. And feel free, again, to hold on to something to support you. So since I'm near the door or the wall, I can place one hand for support. Okay, same if you have a couch nearby, a table, a chair, or if you're practicing with a family member, you could also hold hands in your tree pose. All right, so again, whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And if you want to jazz up your tree, lots of different ways that we can jazz up the tree using our props. So to start, always just try it with one block so your body gets used to standing on the block while you're doing the pose. So I'm going to make sure that my foot is fully on the block. So it's almost like I'm putting on a shoe so that my foot is fully vertical. Okay, so you're strong and you're centered in on the block on your foot. So I'm going to place the block down, and I'm on my right side. So I'm going to step with my right foot, and then I can decide, do I want the kickstand tree? And again, I can choose for my branches. Maybe my foot goes a little higher, but I really want to stay focused and grounded because it is a little different on the block. Kind of similar to when I showed you the tree pose with your feet on the marbles. So again, this is a little softer, a little flatter, but again, it's squishy and it's different. It changes our perspective to gravity. So again, maybe this is where you just stay and focus on the balance and the strength and the stability. Again, think of your toes as the roots of the tree. So the roots are grounded into the ground, connected to the earth to feel that support. And then the tree grows, right? But it's really important that our roots are strong and sturdy and stable. Otherwise, that tree is going to start to fall, even with a little wind. But where can we find the balance, find the grace, to find that ease, right? So when the wind blows, we're able to still find our center and our balance, right? And then once you get used to that side, all right, again, always switch sides. So maybe shake it out, whatever you need to do. And then try it on the other side. So you'll step, again, your foot fully in the middle of the block. So your foot is vertical, like you're putting on a shoe. And then maybe you just start with the arms wide like the letter T in your crane pose. Or this foot now is going to go, again, below or above your knee. And one side can be totally different than the other, and that's okay. Breathe through it. Use your breath to guide you as you breathe in and breathe out. And again, your choice for your branches. Also, you can always add in the mudras. So if you watch the chakra video that I made, you might remember some of the yoga of your hands, the yoga hand emojis, the mudra. So going through the colors, you have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And there are other ones as well. Again, you can make it your own little moving mudra of your favorite mudras, or maybe you make up your own as well, right? There's no right or wrong way to do yoga. So that's one variation of the tree with the block. If you are ready to add on. Now you can add your second block. So again, I'm gonna stack them like Legos, pretending that there's glue, so they're really super strong. And then, once again, I'm gonna step using one foot. So I'm starting with my right side. Sometimes my right side feels stronger. All right, and then maybe again, this could be my tree today, or my branches are higher. So it is a little different with two blocks, but again, always be careful. Safety first. So again, do what feels comfortable for you. If you feel like you're blowing too much in the wind, step down, all right? That's okay. All right, we build up. It's a yoga practice, not yoga perfect. So we take it one step at a time. And the more we do tree pose, the more it becomes muscle memory in our body, meaning our body remembers, right, when we practice every day. So again, practicing your trees, you'll be able to build up to adding two blocks. And again, you could also try it on the other side. So again, I'm really careful. I'm looking at something that's not moving. And then I begin to grow my branches. Again, we're helping each other grow, planting seeds of kindness. Right? So depending on what kind of tree you want to be, an apple tree, a pear tree, a palm tree, right? So many different trees. Another way you can add in the balance with the blocks, you could have one block for your foot, and then maybe you find a way for your other block to balance on your head, maybe your shoulder. Whoops, sometimes again it falls off. Or even if you step off the block, you could balance like you're holding two pizza boxes, right? So this could be your tree pose. Maybe you lift it higher. Again, maybe you're a cactus tree. So your choice for using the blocks for your tree pose. Again, the blocks are great props to use to add to really any pose. All right, so the next pose we're gonna learn is the Warrior Three, which is also known as an airplane. So again, lots of different ways you can do your Warrior Three. So I'm just gonna show you from the side so you can see a little bit better. Again, I start in my mountain pose. Then I'm gonna reach my arms out wide like the letter T, so creating those wings. And then again, I'm looking at something that's not moving as I slowly lift one foot up. I wanna keep my hips squared as best as I can. And I'm flexing through my toes, so my leg is active and engaged. I can bend my standing knee a little bit if that helps me. My arms can stay here. My arms can stay by the sides of my body. My hands can come to my heart. My hands can also reach forward. Again, this is another pose you can create with a partner. So whether you have your parent or your sibling, you could connect your arms, your wings together, fly together, or even make a circle. All right, to fly. So lots of different ways to fly. Once again, you can use your blocks for support. So if I was gonna use the blocks, I have the block in each hand. As I start with forward folding, and then I can lift one foot up. So this is a supported airplane, a supported Warrior Three, Virabhadrasana 3. Again, whatever feels good for you. And make sure, again, you do both sides of your airplane, of your Warrior Three. The next balancing pose, Ardha Chandrasana, which is half moon pose, kind of looks like your airplane, but it's flying on its side. So to do that, it's helpful to use the blocks for support. So you can either choose to use two blocks or just one. I'll show you using two to start with. You're gonna come to your Warrior Two. So Warrior Two is like you're surfing. So I have my left foot forward and my knee no more than 90 degrees. And my right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. So think of math, parallel lines that never touch. So your foot and the edge of your mat never touch there. And then you have your left toes facing forward. I have both blocks in my hands as I breathe and reach forward. All right. So with my Warrior Two, I'm gonna slowly start to keep bending my left knee. My left arm is going to start to come down to the ground as I lift off and fly into my half moon pose. So once again, flexing through my right foot, I can choose to keep my hand to the sky with the block. I could also have my hand at my hip for support, all right? Or if that felt a little scary, using the wall for support, you can always lean back to the wall, to the door for support. So I'm doing the same exact pose that I feel so supported, so connected. Again, I'm flexing through my right foot. I'm breathing. I'm using the block in my left hand. If I didn't want to use the block, I could just reach my hand to the ground. Again, it's a little different. All right. So that's one way to try your half moon pose. If you wanted to get a little fancy, I'll show you another variation without any of the props. So once again, I'm in my warrior two. I keep bending my knee. My left hand comes to the ground as my right arm and leg reach up. If I want to try to reach for my ankle, I can also try that in the balancing pose. So that would be more of our full moon pose. Or maybe you try to lift your left hand. Can you bring it to your heart? Great. So you can also try to balance like that as well. Again, see what feels comfortable for you. You can always build up to that pose. And if that seemed too hard, you can always come down to the ground in your stargazer pose or your supported side plank. So my left shin is to the ground. My right foot, again, is parallel to the back of my mat. As I reach my arm up, I can lift my right foot up. And I'm in my supported half moon with my knee to the ground. And I could still reach for my ankle as well. So again, doing what feels comfortable for you in your half moon pose, your Ardha Chandrasana in the Sanskrit language, all right? So again, you could choose to use the blocks, you don't have to. So be sure you do both sides of your body as well. So shake it all out, let it all go. The next pose that we're gonna do with balancing is Garuda, which is the eagle. And this one, not only does it help with our balance, it also strengthens our brain power because it crosses the midline of our brain. So whenever we cross right over left or left over right, we're actually strengthening the connections in our mind so we have more focus, more clarity, helps boost our memory skills. So it's really good to incorporate midline movement poses in your practice. All right, so to start with the eagle, and again, there's a couple different ways you can try your eagle. So with eagle, you're gonna stand again in mountain pose, Tadasana. You're gonna reach your arms up to the sky, and then you're gonna bend your knees into chair pose. This is called Utkatasana, chair pose, all right? So your knees are bending. It's like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. And what's gonna happen is, we're gonna start with eagle arms. You're gonna take your right arm, crisscross it. You make the letter X. So your right arm is under your left, and then you crisscross it again. So you have these eagle arms, also helps our shoulders, all right? So maybe this is my eagle today. Maybe this is where I stay to work on the stretch in my shoulders. But if I wanna add in the balance, all right? My left foot is my strong standing leg. I'm gonna slowly lift my right foot up, again, keeping my eye on something not moving. Take your right knee, cross it on top of your left. And again, you're still sitting in your chair, so maybe this is you, or you take your right foot and you wrap it around your left shin for the full expression of Garuda, the eagle pose. And again, sometimes it just works just like this. If this is too much with the arms, bring your hands to your hips for support. You could also crisscross your shoulders. Again, you'll get the same benefits of that. Again, if crisscrossing your arms like the letter X and then again, crossing them again is too much, you could always modify it, all right? Or hands on your hips. Another variation of that, so if that was too hard to get your right knee on top of your left, we can also create the number 4 with the shape. So again, you start in your mountain, reach the arms up, bend your knees, chair pose. So again, I can choose to either have my arms here, crisscross my arms, or hands to my hips. So just so you can see better, I'm gonna keep my hands at my hips. So I'm gonna start to take my right foot up. I'm gonna take my right ankle to my left knee, and I'm still pretending like I'm sitting in the chair. So again, it looks like that number 4 shape. And then I can either, once again, reach my arms forward, crisscross my arms, all right? Or If you want to add in a balancing twist, you're going to bring your hands to your heart, all right? You're going to bring your right elbow and you're going to twist so your right elbow connects with your right foot on your left side. Breathe, balance, focus. All right, so, oops, sometimes I fall out of it too because there's a lot going on, but that's okay. It's a yoga practice. That's how we learn. It's how we grow. So that's your choice. Shake it all out, let it all go. And we'll do that on our left side. So shake it out, come back to your mountain pose. Breathe in, reach those arms up. Breathe out, chair pose, Uttanasana. This time our left arm's gonna cross under the right as we eagle wrap. And then your right leg is your strong standing leg that you're still keeping that chair-like shape. As you lift your left knee on top of your right, again, maybe it curls around your shin as you breathe here in your eagle pose. Or again, take your ankle to your knee, left ankle to your right knee, sit into your hips. Maybe you keep the eagle arms, maybe they're stretching. And again, if you want to add in the little eagle twist, hands at your heart. Now we're gonna twist to the right. Left elbow to your right, to your left foot to the right side as you breathe. And again, keep looking to the direction that you're twisting. In your twisted eagle pose, again, our body's like a sponge, so we're rinsing out any negativity, anything we no longer need. All right, so that's our eagle. Again, it's a practice. It's how we learn, it's how we grow. So take it one step at a time. Okay, so the next poses that we're gonna try with balance, I'm gonna use the yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap at home, you could always use a tie or some kind of long string to help you with support. Okay, this is another exercise that helps with our toes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold the strap with my two hands, just like this. It's not a jump rope. It's almost like I'm about to jump rope, but I'm not. I'm gonna place my right foot in the middle of the strap. So you can see that. See how I place my right foot in? I want to flex through my toes. All right, and maybe I just start by lifting my foot up and lifting my foot down. All right, just to work on that muscle memory. All right, lifting up, lifting down. And then when I'm ready, I can start by, again, once looking at something that's not moving, slowly starting to flex my right foot and lifting and balancing, right? So finding the balance, opening up the heart, all right? And then if you wanted to, take the strap, both straps in your right hand, as you slowly start to turn out your right foot. Left hand can go to your hip, maybe your left hand reaches up. So you could also try the balance this way. Again, you could hold onto a chair, a couch, the wall as you breathe and balance. All right, and then if you wanted to try the dancer pose, okay, so I'm gonna show you from the side. My foot is still on top of the strap and both of the straps are in my right hand. As I slowly lift my right foot up and start to swing my foot behind me, again, the strap is still saying in the midpoint, flex your foot, I can start to create that shape for the dancer pose. It almost creates like a little pulley, but breathe here. Maybe this is where you are today. Maybe you have one hand reaching out. All right. You can still do that pose without a strap, okay? Again, what you would do is just taking your right hand so that your thumb is in the midpoint of your foot, all right? And then I'm gonna start to kick my foot up and reach my arm forward. So you can also do your dancer pose without a strap. All right, so this can be your dancer, or again, you can get creative with the strap as well. So many different ways to balance. And again, you can try that, you know, again, on both sides. Sometimes one side is easier than the other, but it's important to keep breathing and to keep trying, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow in our poses when we balance. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do some of the same toe stretches, but on our back, coming down to the ground to pull down. So again, if you are using your strap or your tie, as you slowly start to come down, you're going to come to your mountain pose on your back. I'm gonna once again take that strap, again, same thing that I did standing, I'm doing on my back. I'm changing my perspective to gravity. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. So once again, I'm gonna put the strap in the midpoint of my foot and then breathe here. So it's that same pose we just did standing, right here on our back. And then to add some movement to the pose, again, I can keep the both straps in my left hand as I bring my left foot all the way out to the left side. Maybe I stay here for a few breaths, and then I'm gonna take it back through to center. And maybe I add in a twist for a couple breaths. All right, so your choice as you breathe in and breathe out. It's kind of like a pendulum on a clock, all right, as you help your hips with their flexibility, their mobility. All right, and again, we're still working our toe muscles for toga as well. And again, if you didn't have the strap, you can still do the pose. You can take your hands behind your thigh and do the same exact stretch. Maybe you walk your hands a little higher, all right? And then you can peace sign your fingers, hook them on your big toe, and then you can also stretch your foot out again to the left, and then bring it all the way over to the right. So, or just have your arms wide like the letter T, and have that movement on your own without using any prop for your foot. All right, so many different ways that you can try this pose, again, with or without the strap, again, helping our toes. And then what's also important, make some circles with your foot going in one direction and then some circles in the other direction. So again, it's really important to support our feet, our joints, especially in the summertime when it gets hot out. All right, this is a really good way to help our joints and our bones. All right, and then slowly bring that foot down, and then whatever you do to one side, you'll do to the other. So you'll reach and stretch your right leg up. And again, your choice, if you're going to use a strap, again, place it on the midpoint of your foot. You have both of your hands right now on each strap as you breathe in and breathe out. Again, just what we did standing. And then if you want to add in some movement, take both straps in your right hand, and then you can stretch your right leg up all the way to the right side, take a breath or two, and then come back through to center, and then bring it over the left side so you're getting a nice gentle twist here. And again, you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like, using the strap or not. Again, I can still do that same shape, holding my thigh closer to me, or maybe my hand goes a little higher. Again, do what feels good for your body, or no hands at all. And then breathe in all the way to the right, and then all the way to the left. So again, creating that pendulum-like shape as you breathe in and breathe out. Again, connecting the breath to the movement. Awesome, everyone. And then again, don't forget to make those circles with your feet to protect your joints, going in both directions. Good job, everyone. And then nice and gently give yourself a hug. Hold both of your knees. Maybe you rock gently from side to side. And then you're slowly going to roll over to one side, come up to sit, just like this. We're going to take it to a butterfly. And you can start to massage the soles of your feet. So going up and down your feet can feel really nice in a butterfly pose, again, to help those toe muscles get all the blood flowing, new fresh oxygen happens to your brain. So again, you have more clarity, more concentration, boost your memory. And then after you finish, you're gonna slowly come back to sit. So you're gonna come to an easy seat as we prepare for a little meditation. So feel free to either just sit where you are, or again, you can support yourself. You can sit on a block as your seat. So again, you could sit crisscross applesauce, or you could also sit on your blanket. Remember, you can fold the blanket, so it's a nice little cushion for you. And since we've been working with all the different toe tools today, if you would like those props to pretend like they're your pebble, you could do that as well, because I'm going to read to you the pebble meditation inspired by the meditation master Thich Nhat Hanh. So if you wanted to pretend that your marbles are, since they kind of look like pebbles, you could pretend those are your pebbles, or You could use pom-poms, or you don't even have to use a tangible item for your pebbles, but if you wanted to, you could. All right, and if you have your packet handy, the Pebble meditation is on the second page. So here's your packet. This is the front page where we've done the sun salutations. You just turn the page and it's on the back of that first page. And if you don't have it, it's also posted in our Google Classroom. Or again, you could always use a blank piece of paper and then draw 4 squares and then write down flower, fresh, mountain, solid, water, reflecting, space, free, to draw what you feel or write down any words. And again, the meditation I'm going to read is right there on screen. And it's from the book, A Handful of Quiet. So this meditation is from this book. And with meditation, we want to just focus on our breath, because remember, our belly is like a balloon. So when we breathe in, our belly goes out, and breathe out, belly goes in. So right now, before we start, just find yourself in a comfortable seat. And of course, if you feel more comfortable laying on your back, feel free to support yourself in a supported Shavasana, whether it be the blocks under your feet or the blanket as a pillow. Just make yourself comfortable. All right, because again, meditation you can do anywhere. All right, it's about that present moment awareness, to be in the moment right now. All right, to be aware of our breath, aware of our thoughts. So just breathing again into your heart, into your mind again, so we can connect the heart and the mind to lead with love. So I'm going to ring the Tingsha chimes to get us prepared for our meditation. So just closing your eyes as we listen to this guided meditation. You breathe in, breathe out. And after the meditation, feel free to draw or write down any thoughts, any feelings, any images you imagined in your mind as you were meditating mindfully. And just again, allowing yourself to be in this moment, breathing in and breathing out. So I'm going to begin by reading the passage from, again, the book, A Handful of Quiet. Flower. A flower represents our freshness. We all have the ability to look at things with fresh eyes and see them as if seeing them for the first time. If we have lost our freshness, all we have to do is practice breathing in and out to restore it. You too are a flower. You have your flowerness. We become light and joyous every time we restore our flowerness. A mountain represents solidity and stability. There is a mountain within you. When you practice sitting and walking with awareness, you grow your capacity to be solid and stable. Solidity and stability are very important for our happiness. They are the mountain within us. Calm water is beautiful. When water is still, it reflects nature as it really is. When we learn how to mindfully breathe in and breathe out, we are like the still water. We make ourselves still and calm. We can breathe in and out and become calm and serene. Then we can see things as they really are and not get caught in fear, blame, or anger. We have the capacity for great clarity. That is the still water within us. We need to have space in us to be happy. Having enough space helps us experience freedom and joy. Without space, we cannot be happy or peaceful. When we look at a table, we may think it is made only of wood, but scientists tell us that the table is made mostly of space. It's hard to believe, but the amount of wood in a table is actually very small. Our body and consciousness are also like this. We may think we are only made of our bones, organs, blood, and muscles, but if we look closely, we also see that we are made of our consciousness, emotions, and many other things. Breathing in and out, we recognize that there is a lot of space within us. To feel free, we need to have space, and so do our loved ones. When we practice in a way that cultivates calm space inside of us, we become free and happy. We practice in order to restore the flower within. We practice in order to restore the mountain within. We practice in order to restore still water within. We practice in order to restore space within. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower, a human flower. Breathing out, I am beautiful just as I am, and I feel very fresh. Breathe in, flower. Breathe out, fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Nothing can move or distract me. Breathing in, mountain. Breathing out, solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water, a calm, clear lake in and around me. Breathing out, I reflect things just as they are inside and around me. Breathing in, still water. Breathing out, reflecting. Breathing in, I see myself as the big blue sky with lots of space in and around me. Breathing out, I feel very free and at ease. Breathing in space, breathing out freedom. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things as they are. Breathing in, I see myself as space. Breathing out, I feel free. And slowly starting to open your eyes and come back to your breath, maybe wiggling the fingers and your toes. And then just slowly, again, if you are laying down, come back to seat or to sit to your seats. And if you are already in your seat, again, just start to create some movement in your body. And then when you're ready, feel free to do your self-reflection on your worksheet. So this was what I had made. So just to give you an example, you can either draw what you were imagining in your mind, or again, you could write down words, how the flower made you feel. Maybe it was creativity, and maybe the mountain was feeling strong, and the space made you feel, again, that freedom, that joy. So again, there's no right or wrong way to feel, but this is a great little exercise, again, to create that self-reflection from this guided meditation. And again, you always have your breath no matter where you go. And again, today we had fun with our toga, using our toes to connect with our mind and our body and our breath. So again, toga helps us with our mind, so we have more focus, more clarity, and we can remember more. So it's a great, exercise to do every day to stretch your toes so you can stretch your mind. So thank you all so much for joining me today for toga, and I hope you have a beautiful green wave day. So let's all breathe in, reach your arms up to the sky, breathe it out, go green wave. Namaste. Great job today, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.